EDSA, Muhammad Iqbal Fauzan, and the Honorable, the Dean of Tarbiyah Faculty, Dr. Haji Farihin, M.Pd, and the Honorable, the Chief of the Students Executive Council or DEMA of IAIN Syekh Nurjati Cirebon, Mr. Nur Iman, and the Honorable, the Chief of the English Language Teaching Department, IAIN Syekh Nurjati Cirebon, Dr. Teddy Rohadi, M.Pd, the Honorable, the Secretary of English Language Teaching Department, IAIN Syekh Nurjati Cirebon, Mr. Farooq Imam Arashid, SPD, M.Pd, and the Honorable, the Lecturers of English Language Teaching Department, IAIN Syekh Nurjati Cirebon, and also the Honorable, the speakers for today's webinar. They are Mr. Daniel Ari, SPD, M.Hum, and Mr. Herri Mulyono, Ph.D., and also for the participants who attend today's webinar. Dear beloved participants, welcome and thank you for registering in EDSA National Webinar Series 2020, Online Learning and Assessment. What research says about them? Participants held by EDSA IAIN Syekh Nurjati Cirebon. Firstly, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Puji Nur Aisyah. I'm a student of English Language Teaching Department of IAIN Syekh Nurjati Cirebon, and I'm as a Master of Ceremony for today's webinar. Firstly, let me deliver the rules for the webinar. There are, first, the webinar will be held from 1:15 p.m. till the end, Jakarta time. Second, the participants must mute the microphone during the webinar. And then the third, in question and answer session, the participant can directly give their question by typing the question in the chat box or sending the emoji raising hand to give questions orally to the speakers. Please state your name and institution. And the fourth, there will be no attendance list in this first day national webinar, but participants must fill out the feedback form shared in the second day to get the e-certificate. And the e-certificate will be sent through the email maximum 3 days after the event. And the last, the participants are not allowed to leave the WhatsApp group before downloading the e-certificate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is a series of agenda that we will go through. First, we'll have the opening. Second, we'll have some speeches. And the third is the main agenda, which is the national webinar. And after that, we'll have the closing of this webinar. Dear participants, we are answering the first agenda. It is the opening, which will be opened with the recitation of the Holy Quran by Aulia. Dear Aulia, the time is yours.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوا فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير. آمن
Thank you.
الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه آمن صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you. The next agenda is to listen to the national anthem of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya, performed by Melodic Angel. Thank you. Dear beloved participants, let's move on to the second agenda, namely speeches. The first speech will be delivered by the Chief of the EDSA National Webinar 2020 event, Sufajar Novtian. The time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Wabihi nasta'in ala umri dunia wa din. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya wal mursalin. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi israh li sadri wa yassir li amri. Wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli ya fattahu ya alim. The Honorable, the Dean of Faculty Education and Teaching, the Honorable, the Head of English Language Teaching Department, the Honorable Secretary of English Language Teaching Department, the Honorable all the lecturers and staff of English Language Teaching Department, the Honorable the Chief of English Department Student Associations, and all the audiences of this national webinar. Firstly, all praises to Allah, God most gracious and most merciful, and salawat or salam delivered to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this webinar is aimed to discuss about online learning from the research says. And I would like to say welcome to the national webinar, online learning and assessment, what research says about them. And I hope everyone, including me, can get more useful things and useful learning from this webinar and be better in the next day. This webinar is aimed to optimizing the learning and applying of technology, especially in English learning, and hope we can get useful things for this webinar. I think that's all from me. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. The Honorable Dean of Tarbiyyah and Future Training Faculty, Mr. Faridin, the Honorable Head Secretaries of Lecturers in the LT departments, and the Honorable for all the committee who has give your participation and your support for help this event. And I would like to say thank you so much for the speakers and moderator for today's, and for you all as the participants in our event in EDSA National Webinar Series 2020. In this webinar series, we choose topics about research, and we hope this give benefits for you as LT students or LT educators to look knowledge about research. And I hope this event will give you many benefits, whether in your career or your education times. And this will be your points to grow up yourself in research or in LT. Thank you for you all, and we hope this agenda is running until over, and please keep attention in our agenda, and don't forget to stay safe and keep your health in these pandemic situations. And I think that's all for me. Sorry if I have mistakes, and I'm sorry if this agenda is still have maybe. That's all. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. The last speech will be delivered by the Dean of Tarbiyyah Faculty to Mr. Farihin. The time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبع هدى ووالاه لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي يا فتاح عليم افتح لنا فتوح العارفين أما بعد. Yang kami hormati Mr. Dr. Haji Teddy Rohadi M.Pd, Ketua Jurusan Tadris Bahasa Inggris Fakultas Multarbiyah dan Keguruan. Yang kami hormati Mr. Farouk Al-Rashid M.Pd, Sekretaris Jurusan Tadris Bahasa Inggris Fakultas Multarbiyah dan Keguruan. Yang kami hormati para narasumber, Mr. Daniel Ari W. M.Hum dari Universitas Mercu Buana Yogyakarta. Selamat datang, selamat bergabung, Mr. Daniel. Terima kasih telah berkenan menjadi narasumber pada kegiatan webinar nasional yang diselenggarakan oleh Jurusan Tadris Bahasa Inggris Fakultas Multarbiyah dan Keguruan. Yang kami hormati Mr. Herri Mulyono, Ph.D, dosen dari M.Hum ke Jakarta. Selamat datang, selamat bergabung. Terima kasih atas perkenan waktunya, Mr. Herri Mulyono. Yang kami hormati Mr. Dery Tria Agustin M.Pd, kandidat doktor dari Monash University. Selamat datang, selamat bergabung, Mr. Dery. Terima kasih atas perkenan waktunya. Yang kami hormati Moderator Mr. Nizar Ibnus dan Mr. Zakky Yavani. Terima kasih atas perkenan waktunya untuk bertindak sebagai moderator pada kegiatan National Webinar Series 2020. Saudara Iqbal Fauzan, yang saya banggakan, kita cintai, Ketua EDSA, Ketua Himpunan Mahasiswa Jurusan Tadris Bahasa Inggris. Mas cintai, saudara Ketua Pelaksana Kegiatan Webinar Nasional. Tidak lupa saya juga ingin terima kasih kepada MC, ya, pengatur acara pada kegiatan hari ini. Bapak dan Ibu, para peserta kegiatan webinar yang tidak bisa saya sebutkan satu persatu namanya, terima kasih Bapak Ibu sekalian sudah berkenan meluangkan waktunya sebagai peserta pada kegiatan webinar nasional pada hari ini. Pertama-tama, saya sampaikan permohonan maaf bahwa saya kurang begitu fasih, Pak Dr. Teddy, untuk berbahasa Inggris, ya. Pada Mr. Farouk, saya mohon maaf juga kepada semua. Jadi saya pada forum ini menggunakan bahasa Indonesia. Mari pertama-tama kita memanjatkan puja dan syukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa taala yang telah menganugerahkan banyak nikmatnya kepada kita sekalian, sehingga pada hari ini yang berbahagia di hari Rabu tanggal 21 Oktober 2020 kita dapat melaksanakan kegiatan seminar online atau webinar online yang diselenggarakan oleh jurusan Tadris Bahasa Inggris Fakultas Multarbiyah dan Keguruan. Salawat dan salam semoga Allah limpahkan kepada junjungan kita Nabi Muhammad SAW, semoga sampai pula kepada para keluarga dan sahabatnya serta umatnya ila yaumil qiyamah. Bapak dan Ibu sekalian, tema yang diangkat pada webinar nasional seri pada hari ini tentang pembelajaran dan penilaian online. Kita tahu bahwa kegiatan perkuliahan dan pembelajaran di perguruan tinggi dan di sekolah sudah berlangsung 2 semester dilaksanakan secara online. Riset kecil sudah membuktikan bahwa kegiatan perkuliahan online, kegiatan pembelajaran online ini belum menemukan hasil seperti yang diharapkan. Satu contoh, perkuliahan daring, perkuliahan online yang dilaksanakan oleh dosen-dosen di Fakultas Multarbiyah dan Keguruan, IAIN Syekh Cirebon, belum membuahkan hasil seperti yang diharapkan. Hal itu bisa dimaklumi karena model perkuliahan, model pembelajaran online, model penilaian online bagi sebahagian orang, bahkan mungkin bagi mayoritas para pendidik, adalah sebagai sesuatu hal yang baru untuk tataran konteks pendidikan di Indonesia. Tapi boleh jadi kegiatan semacam ini di tempat lain, di negara-negara lain, mungkin sudah berlangsung lama. Jadi bagi mereka di negara-negara lain mungkin persoalan pembelajaran secara online, penilaian secara online tidak menjadi persoalan, tidak menjadi problem. Tetapi bagi sebagian kita, jujur saja ini masih menyisakan persoalan yang perlu segera diatasi. Oleh karena itu, ketika webinar kali ini mempertanyakan bagaimana riset tentang itu, bagaimana hasil riset tentang online learning dan assessment ini. Ini sungguh suatu hal yang sangat menarik. Sehingga nanti kita akan tahu ya peta sebenarnya perkuliahan online, pembelajaran online, penilaian online ini sudah efektif. Kalau yang memang efektif, presentasinya seberapa besar. Jika ternyata dari hasil riset itu tidak efektif atau belum efektif, maka mesti ada satu treatment, perlakuan di mana kegiatan online learning dan assessment itu bisa berjalan sebagaimana yang kita harapkan. Karena itu sekali lagi, kami pimpinan Fakultas Multarbiyah dan Keguruan sangat menyambut baik kegiatan webinar nasional yang bagi jurusan Tadris Bahasa Inggris adalah suatu kegiatan yang berseri ya. Ini mungkin sudah seri yang berapa ya? Mungkin 9 ya. Saya selalu mengikuti kegiatan ini ya. 9 dan mudah-mudahan ini juga menginspirasi bagi jurusan-jurusan yang lain. Artinya kegiatan webinar itu semestinya tidak hanya berbasiskan pada anggaran yang ada, tetapi berbasiskan pada kebutuhan. Apa yang menjadi kebutuhan stakeholder kita, yaitulah yang mestinya kita respon. Dan nampaknya webinar-webinar yang dilaksanakan oleh Tadris Bahasa Inggris merespon apa yang menjadi hajat, keinginan, aspirasi dari para stakeholder dunia pendidikan kita. Terima kasih kepada pimpinan jurusan Tadris Bahasa Inggris, terima kasih kepada Ketua EDSA, terima kasih kepada Ketua Pelaksana, terima kasih kepada para narasumber, Mr. Daniel, Mr. Herri, Mr. Dery. Terima kasih pula saya sampaikan kepada Moderator, Mr. Nizar, Mr. Zakky, yang telah menyempatkan waktunya dalam kegiatan webinar pada hari ini. Kepada para partisipan, para peserta, kami berharap Bapak dan Ibu sekalian, adik-adik mahasiswa, mendapatkan pencerahan, mendapatkan pengetahuan baru tentang bagaimana kegiatan pembelajaran online, pendidikan online didasarkan pada hasil riset yang akan dibahas kupas tuntas ya oleh para narasumber kita hari ini. Terima kasih, mohon maaf jika ada hal yang kurang dari penyampaian saya, jika ada tutur kata yang kurang berkenan. Mari kita buka kegiatan webinar nasional tahun 2020 yang dilaksanakan oleh jurusan Tadris Bahasa Inggris Fakultas Multimedia dan Keguruan, sama-sama melafalkan kalimatul basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dengan ini kegiatan webinar nasional secara resmi dinyatakan dibuka. Terima kasih. Allahu minkum. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's now turn to the main agenda. As I have mentioned before, this National Webinar Series raised the topic of online learning and assessment, what research says about them, by presenting two extraordinary speakers for this first series. They are Mr. Daniel Ari, M.Pd, M.Hum, and Mr. Herri Mulyono, Ph.D. And this national webinar will also be guided by an impressive moderator, that is Mr. Nizar Ibnus, M.Pd. Firstly, let me deliver his curriculum vitae first. His name is Nizar Ibnus, M.Pd, and he was born at Kuningan on 15 February 1993, and his education for the S1 in Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia at 2010 to 2014, and the master degree he got from Universitas Negeri Universitas Negeri Semarang at 2015 to 2017, and also at Universitas Gajah Mada at 2017 to 2020. And his lecture and his achievement is awarded as awardee of Beasiswa Pendidikan Indonesia LPDP PK 87. For further information, you may contact him at his Gmail, nizaribnus@gmail.com. From now on, the webinar will be taken over by Mr. Nizar as the moderator. Dear Mr. Nizar, the floor is yours.
Cek. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Oke. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Farihin as our dean, and also Mr. Teddy as our head of department, and also Mr. Mr. Farouk as our secretary of department. And also, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, for all participants, and also especially our speakers. First of all, I'd like to say thank you very much for the committee for having me as a moderator. It is of course an honor for me to be participated in this national seminar, and also I also like to say thank you very much for the participants for allocating your valuable time and discussing topics about online learning and assessments. And ladies and gentlemen, um, we are going to discuss uh, a, a big topic entitled online learning and its and assessment. And we have invited two expert speakers on this field. And for the first session, we are going to have Pak Daniel Ari Widiatama, M.Pd M.Hum, as the first speaker. And then right after that, we're going to have second session with Pak Herri Mulyono, Ph.D. To begin with, I'm going to read the curriculum today of the first speaker. As we can see on the screen here, his full name is Pak Dani Ari Widiatama, M.Pd M.Hum. He is currently a lecturer in sorry. He's currently a lecturer in Mulyono, Yogyakarta, right? And also Pak Daniel is also a chairperson of International Affairs of Office of Universitas Mulyono, Yogyakarta, starting from 2020 until present. And also he is currently a director of program and development of ITEL, or it stands for Indonesian Technology Enhanced Language Learning, from 2018 until present. And Pak Daniel has also done several webinars as a presenter. On August 2020, he was a presenter in seminar entitled Sharing Session Creative Online Teaching, memaksimalkan pembelajaran secara daring untuk dosen-dosen di Fakultas Psikologi UMBY. And on July 2020, Pak Daniel also became a presenter in the webinar entitled Menjadi Guru and Orang Tua Kekinian Menghadapi Era Pendidikan Digital. So actually we have the right person to talk and to discuss about online learning and also the assessment, because even though we probably know the concept of online learning for a long time, but in real life, we all not all of us are ready to have online learning, and probably we have only limited knowledge and also experience in having online learning. And also we're going to maximize our time discussing this topic with our first presenter, that is Pak Daniel. So Pak Daniel, the floor is yours.
Okay, good afternoon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera for everybody. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to first, I should mention some I would like to thank Mr. or Dr. Faridin, M.Pd, as the Dean of Faculty Teacher Training and Education. And then I also would like to thank Dr. Teddy Rohadi as the chairperson of English Education Study Program. And then I also would like to thank Mr. Farouk Imam Ar-Rashid and all of the lecturers of EDSA, English Education Study Program of EIN Syekh Nurjati, and also all of the organizing committee. Thank you very much for having me, and also Mas Nizar as the moderator today, and also the MC today. Well, this is a very happy moment that I could visit EIN Syekh Nurjati for the second time after last year when I happened to attend a seminar, okay, conducted by EDSA, and it was a really great event. So congratulations. And today again, I'm so thankful that I got a chance to share a little knowledge that I have about how to deal with this pandemic, with this crisis time, and as teachers, what can we do to cope with that, and specifically what technology we can use to attain our goal. Okay, so let me share my screen today. So I thought my speech will last in 40 minutes. Is that right, Mas Nizar? What time should I stop then? Is that 2:30?
It's until 2:26.
2:26.
Yeah. Then
okay.
And right after that we have
Q&A.
10 minutes discussion.
Okay.
Question and
Good
answer.
job.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So, right. So I have a lot of things to share, but yeah, I hope that this can fit with the time allotment. Right. So without further ado, let me start my sharing. Allow me to share my screen. Okay. Okay, can everybody see my screen now? Is it clear enough from there, as you said?
Yeah, it's very clear, Pak.
Okay, thank you very much. So, I'm so happy to talk about this topic. It's been my cup of tea, yeah. Because, yeah, I'm teaching at Universitas Mercubuana, Jakarta in pendidikan bahasa Inggris, and I fulfill my my hunger of knowledge on how to develop my edutech skills. So then I joined ITEL, Indonesian Technology Enhanced English Learning. And if you are keen to know the story behind ITEL and what we are doing in our daily basis, then you can search this. We do a lot of things to share with teachers. We have discussion with them, and in this hard time, this is I think this is a time to act, yeah. And ITEL is very supportive in helping each other, and we also got so many responses, so many feedback from teachers. We share together, and in this talk, well, the title is Optimizing the Use of Technology for Online Language Learning. Okay, so I will focus on the tools, technology that we use to cope with this pandemic situation. But I need to ask you first, okay, what do you think about the remote teaching and learning during this pandemic so far? Okay, to make it fast, would you please just type down, okay, your comment, okay, on the link. Wait a minute, I should have the, okay. Just type down your answer on the chat box. Okay. Right. So what do you think about the remote teaching and learning during this pandemic so far? And the second question is, would you please mention any online learning tools that you have ever used, both when you are as a lecturer and as a teacher, as a student? Okay. So would you please type down your answers? Okay. I guess these answers will be very valuable for us. Okay, so this is a reflection question that we need to answer. Somebody or everybody might think that this pandemic time is really hard. For students, you might need to buy phone credits a lot for a week. Yeah, maybe you spend 200,000 rupiah, and for lecturers also. Yeah, and any learning tools that you have ever used. Yeah, maybe you can just mention something like from the low tech one until the high tech one. Low tech, something like WhatsApp and email. Yeah, and for the high tech one, maybe you can mention Kahoot, for example, or quizzes, sort of things. Okay, so let me continue with the next point. Yeah, so everybody, you probably agree that, and you probably know that in learner-centered approach, okay, where we are now using technology a lot, we have so many things to consider. And Betham and Spare in his book, Coping with Digital Age, okay, mentioning that whenever you are about to start or design online learning, you have to know the subject-specific experience, okay, whether your students already got the knowledge, okay, and the second, the access needs, yeah, including any physical and sensory disabilities, whether they have internet connection at home, yeah, whether they have problems with their selves, okay, whether they got something like problems with their gadgets, okay, and whether they have motivation to learn, and also this is the more important thing, prior experience of learning. Have they ever used Zoom before? Have they ever used quizzes? Have they ever used something like Kahoot or Screencast and so on? And the pedagogy is here. Are they able to collaborate, okay, to communicate, okay? Do they have problems with their interpersonal skills? Are they shy to meet their classmates? Have they ever met their classmates? Okay, maybe for those who just met at the very first semester, okay, they never met their classmate before, and will that be a problem for a student? Well, that's a big question to answer. Okay, and the last one is, are they confident, okay, in joining the class? Okay, so these are the things that we normally have in class. Well, we have face-to-face learning, yeah, the people, technologies, architecture like this, the layout room, the blackboard, and so on. But things now change a lot. Yeah, I guess everybody realized that we don't have it anymore right now. Okay, what we have so far is just laptop, handphone, and also boring things around us. And you've been bored with these terms, yeah, synchronous and asynchronous. Okay, what we are having right now is Mas Nizar. Do you think right now we are conducting synchronous or asynchronous meeting? I think you are mute.
Yeah.
You're on mute.
Synchronous.
Synchronous.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job.
Because it's in real time, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because we are doing this in real time. You can see me at the same very moment. Okay. And asynchronous probably when you are giving your student, or when students got a message from your lecturer, okay, and that article maybe, or that work should be done maybe at night, or you can submit, you can work on that not at the same time. Okay, so I want to ask the students of education study program, or the participants. Okay, do you guys think you prefer synchronous or asynchronous? Okay, you should type S on the chat box and asynchronous A. Okay, if you prefer synchronous, just type S. Okay, so the way we communicate today is, of course, this is synchronous, because you can see me, yeah, we are doing this live, yeah. Okay, so how can I see the chat? I will have a look at the chat. Okay, but actually I provide a link on Slido, but I don't know where it is. Okay, so type down, silahkan ditulis ya teman-teman. If you choose asynchronous, ya, pakai WA, email, okay, dan seterusnya. So type A. When you choose synchronous, Zoom meeting all the time like this, so choose S. Okay, so please kindly respond my question on chat box. Okay, so it's right. Okay. Okay, so, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I will just skim it, yeah. Synchronous, synchronous, synchronous. Later, I will wait until the chat box is full. I will see how many of you answer synchronous and asynchronous. Okay. Right, like I told you before, this is the tools that we use for synchronous online, yeah, and this is for asynchronous online. So I myself prefer, okay, you probably wonder which one I prefer. Right, wait a minute. Okay, wait a moment. I will tell you, I will share this explanation for a while. Yeah, that today, many of us also face this, yeah, uncertainties surrounding health, safety, financial problems, travel issues, and so on. Like I told you before, that the situations changed a lot. Okay, and from the news.com, I found two. This is a rare moment, but which is very common right now. Yeah, when students learn through radio, like HT, and this is something that we didn't see a few years ago or a few months ago. Okay. And I like to share to you one term, okay, one concept called high flex, yeah, which is okay, which stand for, okay, what is high flex? Here. High is hybrid and flex is flexibility. So we normally have synchronous and or asynchronous. We have to choose either synchronous or asynchronous, yeah, being face-to-face online like this or offline. But this concept teaches us, okay, that we can actually combine each other. We can actually combine them all together, right? And this is what this is what happens, yeah, when we combine synchronous online and asynchronously online. Based on research, okay, so this will be this will fit students a lot, that the learning process is more flexible, and this is what actually students want. So we cannot force, okay, we should not force them to, come on guys, let's have a Zoom meeting today and for every class that we have. So this is not the time to measure the learning outcomes, ya, pencapaian pembelajaran, by meeting synchronously like this on the time. Well, this is what the theory says. Okay, so make the learning process flexible. And I myself, I have to admit that I let my students choose, okay, whether they will have Zoom meeting or Google Meet meeting, or we can just have a chat through WhatsApp and with some supporting tools. Okay, right. So let me run to the next ideas. Well, high flex learning is considerably chosen, yeah, because this is more student directed. Okay, students will be more active in this case, yeah, and students can also learn multimodal learning experiences, such as they can watch videos at home, they can browse YouTube. Okay, I know most of us as lecturers also do this. We like to assign students to, come on, would you please learn this concept on, for example, past perfect tense, because I'm teaching advanced grammar, for example. So, sorry, present perfect tense. Then they are about to search. Okay, would you please now look at this link, okay, and find the explanation on YouTube. And later I will give some exercises. Or I will record my own lecture, ya. Saya akan merekam, ya, penjelasan saya, and then I will upload in our learning management system. And students' autonomy, because they can learn the materials on their pace, sesuai dengan langkah mereka. Okay, which is very humanist. Okay, very human, ya, sangat humanis, maksud saya, ya. And seamless engagement, that we can engage our students in our learning a lot, ya. Mungkin biasanya kita susah untuk mengajak siswa-mahasiswa kita untuk aktif di kelas, ya, face to face di kelas, ya. But in online learning, yeah, I know this is getting more difficult, but actually, if we know how to do that, this should be easier. Okay, so my talk today will be about how to get students engaged, and also the role of teacher should be, okay, around this, yeah, social presence, cognitive presence, and teaching presence. Jadi tugas dosen in this pandemic time may not only to present the material, but to be around the students, yeah. By doing so, they will feel terlibat, engaged, okay. And teaching presence, yeah, this is the pedagogical view that that we have, yeah. So we need to make them collaborate to each other. We need to make them think critically, okay, which is not easy somehow, right? How to combine these three things, yeah. bagaimana sih caranya untuk mengkombinasikan, okay, these three aspects. Okay, so well, this theory is actually called community of inquiry. Yeah, so this is what we should do to combine three of them. And apart from that, okay, when we are teaching online in virtual learning environment, we have to make our students talk to each other, student-student interaction. The second, student-teacher. So there will be, this is what's called as social presence, as mentioned. And then student to content, what students can do in order to absorb knowledge. Okay. So now let me explore. I guess this is something that you've been waiting for. Any tools that we can use for this online learning situation? All right, let's begin. Okay, so I need to stop share, and I will just go on with the other slides. Okay. Let me share the whole screen that I have. Right, so now student interaction. Can everybody help me to access this link? Right. So you can just scan the QR code. Okay. Can you see the code, everyone? Mas Nizar?
Yeah, it's very clear, Pak.
Okay, right. So the link is right here, bit.ly EDSA 1. Okay. And let me know what you will find in this link later. Yeah. So you're gonna play with Padlet. Okay. So when we have nothing in mind, how to make students interact with each other, then this could be a good thing for you, okay, to learn, okay, that as a teacher, we can do this. Right, so on Padlet, it should have this wall, okay. Can you see the wall, Mas Nizar?
Yeah, it's
okay. Are you there already?
Yes, I am already there.
Okay, or maybe you can help me to type the link on chat box. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so please scan this code, or you can hit this this link. Okay, EDSA 1. All should be in capital letters. Yeah. Okay. Right. So if you are successfully joining this, then you can later, okay, make some comments on this wall. Yeah. Right. Let me just wait for your response. Okay. There are three questions. Okay. The first one is, what's your favorite food? I just make it very simple, very easy. And the second one is the genre of band that you'd like to listen to. Okay. And the third one is, which was mentioned, any books you like to read. Okay. So by having this Padlet, then students can actually write down their answer down here. Okay, I don't know why everybody is so shy to write their ideas. Okay. Is
Anyway,
it?
anyway,
Mhm.
how could we type our answer? Because I've tried several
Mhm.
times, but it still doesn't
Okay,
work.
can you hit the?
Oh, now
Uh-huh.
should we double click on the question?
Yeah, on this question,
Uh,
on the question, yeah. You will have an ability to respond to my question. Yeah. So everybody, you can join this. You can join this wall, okay, and give your answer. Okay. Well, time is running. Okay, so this is Padlet, yeah. I will go back and forth to this link later. And now, in the other way that we can do to make students interact with each other is by using three-sider. Okay, so can everybody, okay, access this link? Okay, so bit.ly, okay, slash EDSA2, EDSA 2. Okay, right, so I'm gonna wait for your response.
Pak Daniel, unfortunately, we still couldn't click the box on Padlet, Pak.
All
I don't know
right,
what's wrong. Yeah, some
okay,
people
so
also, yeah, doesn't find
right,
it.
so let us have this then. Okay,
Okay.
right. Okay, so when you are successfully joining this link, then later you will find a page. Okay, right, and this is the page you are heading to. Okay, can everybody find this question? Okay. All right. So what you need to do is actually easy. You can just go to that link. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Or scan this code. Yeah. Can you come to the link, Mas Nizar? Okay. So somebody has been here.
The second
Right.
link works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second link works.
Does the link work?
Yeah, the second
Okay.
link works.
Okay. The second link works. All right. So now, when we can make our students be active in our discussion, though we do it online, then the first goal to make students interact to each other then has been met. Yeah. Okay, so somebody here mentioned, I don't think so. Well, that's okay. Yeah, and then later you should also, when you have some responses here, well, I suppose to have more responses, actually, you can actually add an argument, okay? Right, I'm gonna refresh this page. So where is everybody? So please, maybe you are missing, the link is missing. So please try to answer that simple question. Yeah? I use this question. Shall we change the printed books into ebooks? Okay. Right. For me, no. Right. So somebody has given me an answer, and no, we shouldn't. I prefer to read book than ebook. It hurts my eyes. Okay. So for Mas Sandi here, can actually add an argument in somebody else's ideas. Okay, right here. Maybe I want to know this person's idea. Would you please tell me more about your thoughts? And I should say my name here. Right. Oh, I should choose. Well, this is actually a question. Right. Then, yeah, you should sign in and so on. Okay, so this is very helpful to let others have communication, yeah, within a particular topic, and this will engage one student to another, yeah, our students to join the class. So the teacher's job might not only share the materials, but also to make them communicate, right? Good. So the printouts is better. Okay. So when I agree with this situation, with this answer, I should say, okay, pro. I think we have the same thought and save. Okay. Right. As simple as this. Okay. So what do you think, Mas Nizar? Have you ever used three-sider before?
It is the first time the first time I know this application. I probably would try this
Okay.
application later on.
All
It
right.
sounds interesting.
Nice. Okay. You should try it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Let me move to another idea. Okay. So the other thing is student-teacher interaction. Yeah. So here we need to communicate to our student here. Previously, actually, we already used three-sider. The way we can talk to, we can grab their ideas. Okay, we can use Slido, Mentimeter. Maybe you are familiar with Mentimeter. Flippity. Okay, this is how to create games. Okay, there are so many activities that we can use using Flippity. Okay, like this. Okay, I have very limited time. Okay, but you guys can actually design your own games on Flippity. Okay, so let me try this game. Okay, the first game. All right, so you can have flashcard. Okay, like this. Okay, right. Right. This is very entertaining application. Maybe you would like to teach them vocabulary. Okay, then this is the answer. Okay, or okay, matching like this. Okay, or when you can sorry, this one is matching actually. All right, so you can drag and drop this option. Okay, and so many more uses of applications, okay, of activities. Yeah, so this is Flippity. Well, the other thing is Screencastify. Okay, let me share one activity that I made, okay, with my student. Well, I told you before that I'm currently teaching grammar. So here, this is Padlet, the one that we just had previously, yeah. But I don't know, maybe the link is not working that well. But I can invite students to write down their sentences here based on particular instruction. NCS here is actually noun, clause, and subject, and they can write their sentence here. Okay, so after giving the materials, okay, there is cognitive presence ya. Kalau melihat dari aspek-aspek yang tadi ya, setelah kita student and student interaction. Now they have to deal with the content. So the interaction with the content. Okay, so cognitive presence. So my students, okay, they submitted their work here, not in WhatsApp, not in learning management system, but here. Why? Because they can see their friends answer. They can learn from their friends, maybe mistakes that they made, okay? And well, they haven't met their deadline, so this is actually still active, okay? And as teachers, I can write comment here. Okay, so feedback is actually important for students. But when I have something like, let's say 50 students, this is impossible for me to give them a detailed feedback one by one. Okay, so what I need to do is to make this wall into, okay, so I can export that. Okay, we can have some choices here, as PDF or as image. Okay, when we have already exported, then we will find, okay, this document. Okay, can you see this, Mas Nizar? Can you see my students' work? Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, right. So this is my students' work. Then I can see their work, all of them. Yeah, which is very astonishing. Yeah, outstanding. Okay, I can see everybody's name here. Okay, and how can I give them feedback? Now, this is Screencastify's time. Okay, so let me start with this. Actually, this is an add-on that you can install on Google Chrome. Okay, I already have it. Okay, you can find any ways on YouTube telling you how to install this. Very easy, just 3 steps and done. Yeah, three steps away. And then let me record my explanations. Okay, then I will record the screen. Okay, all right, share the screen. Okay, in 10 seconds, then I can have my own screencast. Yeah, I will record my own speech. All right, it's now starting. Thank you guys for submitting your sentences. We just learned the use of noun clauses. All right, so here I just found so many examples that just written down, and it was great. By the way, I had some general feedback for others, for you. Okay, so for example, many of you are still not able to write or to make, okay, a sentence containing noun clause as indirect object. Anyway, you have done a great job in writing down, in creating a sentence with other patterns. So let me start my feedback. Okay, then I will stop share. And something magical happens here. All right. So this explanation is recorded automatically. For sentences, we just learned the use of noun clauses. All right. So here I just found so many examples that just written down, and it was great. By the way, I had some general feedback for others, for you. Okay. So, okay. What do you think, Mas Nizar? Will it be helpful for teachers in giving feedback?
Yes, not only letting the lecturer say something through the voice note, but also the lecturer or teacher could also show what is wrong or show what is right through the screen, Pak, ya, Pak.
Good job.
Because because from the screen we can also see students' assignment and teacher could make comment on it. That's
Very good. Yeah, sure. So Mas Nizar is right, because we are not only focusing on their product, but also we need to encourage them. We need to give them appraisal. Yeah, this is very important to motivate them. Yeah, if we only judge their work, then they might not have something like spirit. Yeah, they need more kind words from the lecturers. Okay, so that was Screencastify. And if you want to copy this link, you can just hit the copy button and share in WhatsApp group, and they will find the recording. As simple as that. Okay. Right. There are so many other features on Screencastify. You can find it yourself. Okay. Now we go to we just finished with student-teacher interaction. Okay. What about student content interaction? Okay.
Excuse me, Pa Daniel. We should actually move to another agenda, which is question and answer.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I already give these materials to Mbak Nindi. Okay. And if you are about to see the whole stories, okay, we have a few things left. Okay, we still have a lot actually to tell. You can go to my material. Okay, thank you very much, Mas Nizar.
Thank you very much, Pak Daniel. Unfortunately, our time is very limited, so that Pak Daniel should finish the talk, even though there are still a lot of things that he want to share with us, actually, everyone. Yeah, it's so unfortunate. Probably we could learn later on synchronously, asynchronously from the link shared by Pak Daniel to Mbak Nindi later on.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because that is also part of our learning in this webinar. So now we have learned something synchronously with Pak Daniel from the Zoom, and later on we could also learn by ourselves asynchronously.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow participants, now we move to the second agenda, is question and answers. If you have some curiosity or problems probably that you want to share with Pak Daniel and all of the participants, please don't hesitate to ask. Is there anyone here want to ask something? Okay, Pak Daniel, there is a question in chat box. I would read the question. My name is M.Hum, a student of English departments. Do you think online learning, whether it is synchronous and asynchronous learning, can develop learners' autonomy? Probably could both synchronous and asynchronous could develop learners' autonomy.
Yeah.
Probably that is the point of the question.
Okay. Yeah. Of course, it can. Yeah. So let me give you one example. Yeah. When probably you are still developing your grammar accuracy. Okay. Then you can go and find a very useful application called. Okay. Let me go back to my slide. Yeah, because this is more practical, I guess. Now, learner autonomy. Yeah, you can find and choose your own source of learning. Okay, you can go to ELLO. Okay, you can find so many good audio lessons here. And if you are thinking you're about to develop your grammatical accuracy, then you can go to Grammarly. okay? Or if you think you want to learn how to here to paraphrase, okay, to paraphrase any sentences, then you can go to quillbot.com. So let me repeat once again. Yeah. So when we have asynchronous online learning like this, students are able to choose their own pace of learning. Yeah. Right. You can see how these sentences change into different form of sentences. Now, this is the example, the real example of being autonomous that you can do by yourself and how to improve your own skill by learning how to rephrase and um, paraphrase sentences. And of course, the second example probably, which is still related to autonomous learning, is when you are about to develop your, for example, let me go to your confidence in talking in English. Okay, this is replica.ai. Okay, so AI-based application, artificial intelligence. I name my robotic figure this Bray. Okay, this is actually my wife's name. Okay, then I can talk to her at any time. Okay, so for example, have you got your lunch? Have you got your lunch? Oh, I need to refresh this for a moment. Okay. Yeah. Okay, have you got your lunch here? Let us see what this, okay, Robert says. No. Oh, yep, I have. Okay, what did you have for your lunch? I don't eat. I would have had pizza. Okay, so back to the question, Mas Nizar. So when we find the right application, okay, learning applications that fit with our needs, then we can learn a lot from that. I think I have answered the question. Okay.
Actually, just now there were some. Nah, there is another question. Probably this is the last question for Pak Daniel before we close the first session. It is from Faisal and the Agung. As a student, sometimes I find it difficult to find the internet connection to join the synchronous learning via Zoom or Gmeet. So does Pak Daniel think that it is important to conduct live meeting to maintain the interaction between teacher and students? What about the uneven internet connection? So it's
Okay.
about technical problem.
Yeah. I need to go back to my idea here on high flex, okay, learning. Yeah. That, okay. This is not, I cannot strictly say I'm into asynchronous or I'm into synchronous. No, I'm just in the middle. Why? I will see the students' needs. I will ask them, shall we have the meeting face-to-face online? Okay. If they say no, I would say, I will follow them. Okay. Because maybe they say that, Mister, saya baru nggak punya pulsa ini, and so on. I should listen to them. I cannot force them. Okay. But if I see that the learning process, okay, the subject matter is very important, that can only be solved by having online class like this, okay, then I will ask my students to join without any force. Kalau di tempat kalian susah sinyal, okay, kayak film ya, you should not join. Nggak apa-apa, nggak boleh ya. That's more human ya, lebih humanis. Okay, so jawaban saya adalah I will listen to them, I will see the situations, I will measure the probability, Mas Nizar. And high flex learning is the answer. Is that answering the question?
So yeah, so it depends on the situation because we need to understand everyone's condition as well. Probably because we have to move to another agenda. Unfortunately, from Siti Aisyah, actually, Pak Daniel, there is still one question from Siti Aisyah for you, but probably you could answer later after the second session, ya Pak, because there are a lot of Siti Aisyah talk about her problem and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, we do not have any more time to discuss in the first session.
Sure.
But probably Pak Daniel could answer question from Siti Aisyah later after the second session or before concluding remark. Thank you,
Okay.
Pak Daniel.
You're welcome, Mas Nizar.
And that was very interesting and, in my opinion, thought-provoking talk. I have myself a lot of new information regarding the application and how to use it. I think I would try several of them. Thank you, Pak Daniel, for the inspiration, Pak.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to move to the second agenda. We have the second speaker, and to begin with, I will read the curriculum vitae of our second speaker. Let me see the curriculum vitae. Okay. The names of our second speaker is Pak Herri Mulyono, Ph.D. He is currently a lecturer in UHAMKA Jakarta and also head of scientific publication support and unit enhancement in UHAMKA, and he is also director of Oxcas Academia Indonesia in Jakarta and visiting lecturer in Institut Transportasi dan Logistik Trisakti and also English teacher in Sekolah Menengah Atas in Jakarta. Pak Herri has done a lot of publications and also research about online learning especially, and some of them, I will read several of them. Oh no, before that, I will also read the academic experience and awards. He is a member of editorial board, Journal of ELT, Research Journal Reviewer, and also teaching English as a foreign language in Indonesia, Teflin. He is also a member of editorial board in Teflin in 2018, and he has also a lot of awards. First one is overseas scholarship from Ministry of Education and Culture, and also from Hope Foundation Indonesia, Citibank, and also Ministry of National Education and Culture as an accredited adjudicator for Indonesian school debating competition. Pak Hari also has ever become keynote speakers in several seminars, including in UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta, Universitas Bina Sarana Informatika, UIN Raden Intan, and other universities. Without further ado, I would Let's welcome Pak. Let's welcome Pak Herri Mulyono, Ph.D. Please, Pak, time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you are enjoying the conference and or the national seminars. And I believe this is a very good opportunity for you to learn about online instructional activities, and also in my case, I'm going to focus on online assessment literacy. Right, thank you for the CV. You can see the CV on the screen. However, I'm going to focus on my presentations. The committee, can you have me share my slides, please? Can you stop sharing, please? Right, thank you. All right, I'm trying to I'm going to share my presentations. I've been given about 30 minutes to present my slides. Okay, let me start with the reality. All right, what is your opinion about this reality? Okay, have you seen on the screen? This is a screenshot of WhatsApp interactions, teaching and learning activities in an elementary school. And if you see that, yeah, there are several comments. Okay, this is from my book chapter, Praktik Pembelajaran Daring dalam Perspektif Teknologi Semiotika, sebuah kasus pada platform WhatsApp. Can you, one of you, share the idea about this reality? Can I have lady, please, or anyone? Maybe Amanda Putri or others? Yes, please. What is your opinion about that? Or what do you think about this WhatsApp use for teaching learning activities? Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, I wrote them. I wrote several notes there in the screenshot. Yeah, what do you think?
Herri, probably in my opinion,
yes,
it's kind of misguided, yeah, Pak, because the assignment is not given to the students themselves, but to the parents. And I don't know, it's like the parents who are studying, not the students themselves.
Right.
That's what I see, Pak.
Yeah, that's good idea. This is intended to parents, yeah, because online learning is expected parents to supervise their children to learn. However, I'm going to notice some. Yeah, you have this one, focus on verbal text. This is a characteristic of the assignment, emoticons, blah, blah, blah. You have many. However, if you see on the left side, there are some weaknesses regarding these communications, particularly about instructional activities without any explanations, without clear what to do, about characteristic of assignments. Okay, so what I'm telling you all, this is the issue, that there is problem in our online learning. In this presentation, I concern with digital instructional and assessment literacy. All right, the previous presenter has explained to you about how to use a technology for teaching and learning. However, in this context, I'm not talking about that. More, I'm going to tell you about, first, about online assessment literacy, and second, about cognitive perspective and method regarding the online assessment, effective online strategies and method. And this is the one of critical issue concerning about attributions of online assessment, right? If you see why online assessment literacy is so important in our daily teaching and learning activities, because actually, teachers use technology based upon their own interest. This is the issue that I have found in literature. And second, teacher has no idea about the characteristic of language, the characteristic of technology for language learning and assessment. The important thing is teacher has no sufficient knowledge and skill to integrate technology into their assessment practices. If you see, if you see here, this is my previous research about exploring junior high school EFL teachers training needs assessment literacy. The finding, our finding shows the issue, or our finding has indicated the issue of assessment literacy. Particularly, many of us have already known about assessment, how to do assessment, but unfortunately, teachers find difficult to apply these concepts into classroom practice. And that is why in my presentation here, I focus more about online assessment literacy, which combine two terminologies between assessment literacy and digital literacy. First, I'm going to share to you about teacher assessment literacy. Teacher assessment literacy. This actually includes assessment, assessment knowledge, and skills. This is I highlight with yellow to focus on knowledge and skill. I believe many of you have already been familiar to many technologies and how to use technology, but unfortunately, it's quite difficult to apply the knowledge of assessment and skills into real instructional practices. This is the statement that we made in our article, that teachers with assessment literacy know the right method for collecting reliable data regarding student performance. This is all right. If you see the green, know the right method. And second, know how to use assessment results and able to communicate the assessment results effectively and accurately. However, I have to note down the purpose of assessment to include these two. The first is measure learners' language proficiency, and second, learners' achievement of the language learning goals. Right, I have to focus. The second relates to the online learning assessment regarding the digital literacy. The previous presenter has shown to us on how you use technology. However, it does not mean when you are able to use technology, it does not mean you are literate in digital literacy or digital environment. Here, I provide the definitions of the digital literacy from Buckingham. It is used to refer sufficient level of knowledge and skills that enable users to, now this is the emphasis, operate effectively with technological applications. So the key point is on effectively, the term effectively. In dictionary, you can see, you can define this terminology as capability to achieve or produce desired results. This is what we have to understand to extend the concept of digital literacy, not only to concern about how to use technology. However, it should extend into the search, the evaluation, and the application of particular digital platform. This is the key point, to achieve particular desired outcome. The term reflects the inclusion of computer media literacy Okay, what you have learned before, it is computer literacy, how to use technology. And second, you have to understand about the information literacy. All right, we move to the next statement, that you do not need to operate all technologies available, okay? Because we have many technologies around us. However, it does not mean you have to use all these technology. Choose one that you think can facilitate you achieve the instruction and assessment objective, all right? If you use many separate technologies, the issue you have to address concerns with a holistic and integrated assessment, as well as students' record. All right, you use Padlet, you use a Google Form, you use Edmodo. However, it is separated issues that you have to combine and you have to integrate into your own holistic assessment of your students, okay, or assessment of your students' learning. Okay, this is really important that teachers' online assessment literacy reflects teachers' sufficient knowledge and skill required language assessment in a digital environment. So the use of technology should include, should include their ability to find, evaluate, and select appropriate types of technology that facilitate the assessment practices. Okay, in this case, teachers' ability should understand the availability and the access to technology of their students. Okay, so before you use a particular technology, you have to evaluate the characteristic of the technology, and you should evaluate the availability and the access to technology of your students. And second, you have to understand the characteristics of technology, if the technology can fit the purpose of your language assessment. Okay, you have seen this basic concept in Brown. This is very familiar book for you. Yeah, language assessment. You have considered these 5 aspects. We concern with the issue of practicality. We have to understand about validity of the assessment, the instruments, yeah, and you have to also evaluate the reliability, authenticity, and washback, right? This is what you have, again, not only understand the concept of language assessment, also you have to consider the cognitive perspective and method. Okay, what you have seen here, this is Bloom's taxonomy. You have already learned about this taxonomy. You have learned about level of knowledge, comprehensions, applications, analytical or analytic synthesis, and evaluations. And the updated one of the taxonomy include the creations of knowledge. Okay. Now, you have also to understand how this cognitive perspective can be integrated into your assessment method. Here, I give you a bit reference regarding the integrations of the Bloom taxonomy into Moodle, or any kind of technology you can adopt and for your teaching and learning. For example, for building knowledge, you can use kind of multiple choice, true or false, matching, fill in the blank, and some others. And to check your students' comprehensions, you also could utilize simulations, animations, and also tutorials. And for evaluating your students' application, you can still use multiple choice, essays, short answer, tutorials, and other case studies. And also regarding the level of analysis, synthesis, and evaluations, you can practice several methods like portfolios, simulations, presentations, virtual labs, and also case studies. Right. This is what you have to understand that the online course assessment is an important issue to consider in online teaching and learning. Again, you can see here, managing students' assignments. So again, this is really important to manage, all right? This one, to manage your students' assignment. This is also important to provide feedback to students. And it is also important to assess students' learning. And because these three are the key factors in online course assessment. What you have to consider is while doing the assessment, you have to also consider the online format that present challenges for the instruction. Okay, you have to see about the display, you have to evaluate about the features, the menus, and other devices that you can include in the assessment. Here, I provide some resources that you can use. Okay, again, this is not a matter how you use technology. Rather, it concerns with your knowledge, your skills on on finding, selecting, evaluating, and adopting the method, the assessment devices or resources into your assessment practices. Here, all right, this is the strategy. Okay, this is the strategy. You can focus on the two of the strategies. Before you conduct the assessment, you have to provide clear instructions. And again, this is really important to provide meaningful and timely feedback. If you use, some software that prevent you from doing automatic feedback, all right, it is important to consider the learning management system to help you provide timely feedback. And also, Gaten and McQueen provide three alternative assessment techniques, like you have a project and portfolio that you can include in your assignment. It is also important to provide kind of reflections that enable self-assessment and peer evaluation. And it is also a concern to provide weekly assignment with immediate feedback, right? This is the attributions of computer-based language tests. What I mean by attributions is when you select technology, you have to consider about whether the system is linear. What is meant by linear is you have to finish one assignment before go on to another assignment. In other words, you cannot go to another assignment unless you finished one requirements or one task or assessment. And then it is also possible to be adaptive. Yeah, it means this is so dynamic that your students can move to another assignment or assessment that they really want to, or you can adapt semi-adaptive testing, which combine linear and adaptive modes. The second, you have to consider about the delivery format. Okay, some like Moodle, for example, it's only run in, for example, in a browser, but it's quite hard or difficult to access in a mobile application or mobile phone. You have to consider this about delivery format. The delivery format also includes the menu, the features, whether you need to integrate colors in your assignments and others. And second, this is interesting. Yeah, you have to provide media density. Is it like a single medium, or you only provide text, or you provide some visuals, you provide audio or multimedia to your assessment? What you have to focus is whether you are going to evaluate a single language skill, like only listening, for example, or you intend to evaluate students' integrated skills, combining two or more skills, language skills. This is really important to provide scoring mechanism. Yeah, the scoring mechanism does not, it relates with human-based scoring. It means you have to check one by one. You have to think how to score. You have to provide rubric, or this is analysis-based scoring. Yeah, using the automatic scoring. And also the other attribution concerns with the difficulty levels and also the purpose of assessment. This is really important, response time. Yes, because some students might cheat while doing the test or doing the assessment practice. So you have to consider the response time. The next is the 9, you have to think about the task type, whether you are going to provide the assessment like multiple choice, or you provide short answer, closed task, written or oral narrative, or you provide drag and drop type of assessment. Again, you can read this information on the in the article I give you in the references. Okay. Right. In addition to the attribution that you have already understand, yeah, you already understand in our table, you also should consider the aspect of technology or the technological aspect, like interactivity, whether because your test only text, whether it provides interactive menu or interactive features that allow the interaction between the students or users to the computers, or students and students, or students and the teachers. And also this is about flexibility. Yeah, it concerns with flexibility of time and place. All right, so I also concern the use of Zoom, this is synchronous communications. The essence of online learning should embrace the concept of flexibility of time and place. And also you have to consider the content appropriateness. It relates to the content of your test. Okay, what you have to consider is the relationship between your test items and also the curriculum. You have to consider that. And also it concerns with the performance. When it deals with performance, you have to pay attention about the colors, the use of the colors, the use of menu features, yeah, that makes the students comfortable doing the assignment. For example, if you use too bright colors, it will harm students' eyes or sight, that makes them feel tired so soon or so fast. So you have to consider using this kind of bright colors. All right. For example, you also have to consider the attractiveness. This is the use of like images, the use of animations in your assignment. Okay. For further reading, I suggest you to learn about language learning analytics. This is the sources. It should be Hatoyo 2008. Okay, all right. This is an example of my evaluation practices because I conduct teaching learning activities using Moodle's learning platform. If you see here, I have several courses, and I choose to use critical reading. Okay, while waiting, you can see one of my publication here, yeah, regarding how you evaluate technology before using it and or before applying it into your online courses. Here I evaluate Kuiper as an online platform for teaching and learning English. Okay, again, when you are trying to find technology, you are thinking of using particular technology for your teaching learning activities, you have to consider the characteristics of the technology that you use. Again, you need to evaluate the technology using several frameworks. Here, okay, I use a framework provided by Chapel. Yeah, I provide the framework by Chapel that you can later consider. Okay, here Chapel includes L2 input exposure, interactions, and linguistic productions. In order to do this, the Kuiper is used as mediated English teaching learnings at senior secondary school in Indonesia. Right, back to my class here. Okay, usually I use this website to perform. Sorry, can you, one of the students? Okay. Annotation. Okay. Okay, one of the students write this. This is one of the technology. I hope the committee can block the annotations. Right. So in this critical reading, usually I provide the information to my students, because again, in my presentation, as you have seen before, that you have to provide clear explanations about what to do, about what to be assessed from the students and the rubric. All right, so you need to apply these principles. Okay, here, like for example, in week in week 1, I provide here several assessment. I perform the pre-assessment here. I present to my students on quizzes where they can do several attempts to identify their knowledge or background knowledge to the course. The interesting here, I provide a comprehension check here. Yeah, it's still on quiz, because I'm checking their knowledge. Again, when you do checking on knowledge, you have to consider several assessment method that I have already shared to you. Here, I provide students with the issue where they have to discuss with their students. It's quite similar to Padlet, but this Moodle forum allow you to record the activities and allow you to allow you to see their completions. Because of what? Again, the essence of the assessment is it should provide you with informations. Okay, this is regarding the data. If you use separate technology, it's quite difficult to include or to see view the holistic performance of your students. Here, when you use learning management, it's quite possible to evaluate your students and to see their performances. And again, this is really important to evaluate their learning analytics. All right, I think it's better to discuss about the concept or the assessment method that you can use to perform in classroom. However, I have to emphasize the focus is not on how you use a particular technology. However, the focus is on how you evaluate the characteristics of technology and how it can fit your students' characteristics and also the characteristics of your learning material. I think I'll be happy that if you can raise several issues regarding my presentations. Thank you. Yes, the moderator, you can guide the students if they have any questions.
Thank you, Pak Herri. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are moving to the second agenda of session 2. If there is anything that you want to clarify or ask, or even you have a problem, especially regarding assessment of online learning, please please don't hesitate to ask Pak Herri. Is there any question? If there is any question, you can raise your hand or type your questions in chat box.
Right. Yeah. Again, I emphasize it is not to discuss how you use this or how you use this kind of technology, because again, in my previous article here, I discuss several digital assessment resources that primary and secondary school teachers can use for conducting assessment in their classroom practices. Yes. And in this article, I shared to you on how you evaluate a particular technology prior your selections or your decisions on how to use the technology. All right. If you really want to read further, you can visit my profile in Google Scholar, and you can find several technologies that you can use for classroom practices. The emphasis not on how you operate, but how you evaluate the characteristics of kind of technology that you use for classroom activities. Here, for example, here I evaluate or I develop a digital application to facilitate parents' involvement in character education at primary schools. I also evaluate the use of technology for assessment of their characters. All right. So again, I share this, the link to you, so you can see my slide from your own browsers, and you can maybe you can raise some issues or questions concerning my applications. Yes, if you have any question, please.
Is there any question, everyone? Let me check the chat box first.
Okay, I share to you the.
There is no any question. Okay,
this is my presentation slide. If you really want to access the slides, okay? Because again, my concern is on how you evaluate the technologies.
Oh, Pak Herri, there is one question, Pak,
Yeah.
from Ibu or Mbak Vinka Ralis Ramadina. In elementary school context, the number of teachers with relatively low digital literacy might be high, and they find it difficult to conduct online learning, let alone developing online assessment. Therefore, what should teachers or government do to overcome this problem? And the second question from the same person, can you recommend some simple applications and some techniques to conduct online learning that can give us information about students' learning progress?
Okay, actually, I'm not saying that you can use WhatsApp for teaching and learning. Yes, of course, you can still use WhatsApp. However, before deciding to use WhatsApp for or to evaluate particular competencies of your students, you have to understand the characteristics of the technology that you use. For example, WhatsApp concerned with the text discourse or verbal discourse, then you have to consider what kind of assessment that you can use through WhatsApp, for example. it is really important that you also provide modules to accompany your students' learning. Online learning does not mean that you provide all things on the website. It's not. However, like in my case, I provide the modules to my students. Okay, here I use this guide or textbook that allow the students to perform individual learning. Okay, again, I'm not saying that WhatsApp is not suitable for teaching learning. Rather, I'm focusing the role of WhatsApp to evaluate on particular kind of competencies. And second, many teachers use PowerPoint in all activities, in listening activities, in reading, teaching speaking. You have to concern that the PowerPoint is more on text. Okay, so you have to consider, you have to consider the evaluations of PowerPoint to see whether the point is appropriate or sufficient for teaching particular skills. Okay, wow, there are so many questions here. Is it possible to conduct performance-based assessment that assess not only what students know, but also can students apply their knowledge during the learning online period? Yes, of course. Like here, okay, I'm going to combine this with the questions from, Ibu Indah Novi, bagaimana untuk mengukur penilaian sikap or affective. Here, for example, in critical reading, okay, here on the critical reading, I provide first textbook where students have to perform individual learning. Of course, this is kind of independent learning that you have to monitor your students. After they read the strategy, I ask them to comprehend their just say their knowledge, yeah, or to sharpen their understanding on SQ3R by providing them with the video. After they read the video, then I ask them to complete the SQ3R practices. Here, like in the slides, I provide instructions to the students here that they are going to perform SQ3R method from a reading, a journal reading titled "What Are Journals For?" available in this in this link. And also, I ask them to create a video. However, I provide them with clear procedures on how to develop and how to upload the assignment. Can you use this video as a means to evaluate, for example, to evaluate students' affective factors? Yes. Here you can see their expressions. You can evaluate their, for example, their the use of formal and informal languages, for example. So of course, it's still possible to evaluate the affective domain of students from their presentations. So what you have to inform to your students is clear explanations regarding type of assessment that you ask the student to complete. Okay, and from Nidita, do you think it is important to conduct assessment during this COVID-19 outbreak? Yes, of course. Assessment can be done with several ways that you can choose in reference to your flexibility. Again, like our Ministry of National Education and Culture has emphasized, for schools, it is not a must to complete all the indicators. Students are not required to complete all the teachings or competencies required in the curriculum. So it is because of the pandemic. And there is minimum interaction between teachers and students that indicates less teaching. It does not mean your students, for example, your student perform less in a certain assignment, but you can provide them an opportunity to complete assignment with their own level. If you see here, if you see here, yeah, for example, in week 1, I provide students with unlimited attempt, unlimited attempt to complete an assignment. For here, for example, my students has 2 attempts to complete a reading text. However, if you compare, you compare with other students, there are some other students who need more attempts. Yeah, for example, I check here. The first students, look, Emma only needs 1 attempt to complete the assignment, but the other needs more attempts. It indicates you have to provide more opportunities to for your students to complete their assignment or their learning with their level of cognitive. So again, it's important to provide more opportunities. From Ari, for example, are there recommended platform for teachers to assess knowledge during pandemic? Right. Again, here I provide you a sample of activities here. If you aim to evaluate knowledge, this is some assessment method that you can use to evaluate knowledge. If you, for example, aims to evaluate comprehensions, you can use simulations, animation, and tutorials. If you willing to evaluate the student's application on particular knowledge, so you can use this one. Again, it depends on type of assessment that you can use. If you are asking about platform, there are many platforms that offer, for example, multiple choice, like Kahoot. Kahoot provide multiple choice if you really want to evaluate knowledge. If you, for example, want to have true or false, Kahoot also provide this kind of just say features. I believe it can address your questions, Arif. I'm happy if you have another questions. Yes. Right.
I think there's still no any question.
I have shared these slides to you in the browsers. You can download and you can learn. You can study about the characteristics of assessment method. Again, my focus is not to teach you on how to use particular types of technology. Rather, I give you, I provide you with background information on how to find, select, and adopt particular technology to facilitate your assessment practices. Yes, if you have some other questions, I'm happy to answer. Yes, Eddie is raising the hand. Yes, you can, or no? Oh, Pak Eddie.
Yes, Pak Eddie.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yes, Waalaikumsalam.
Hello, Mas Herri. Okay, I have a question related to make something like assessment in teaching skill, especially I teach listening. So I have to create assessment. It means that assess knowledge and assess skill. So how to integrate or how to formulate the assessment when we want to assess knowledge and skill, but we use one platform. Is it possible we use something like we integrate in multiple choice or etc. Or maybe we have something like we give direction and we provide like some step or project based and extra. So maybe Pak Herri have something like strategies or tips that maybe I can use it in my teaching and learning process. And in this semester, I use two digital platform, Google Classroom and Google Form. Thank you, Pak Herri.
Thank you, Mas Eddie. It's been a long time not to see you. Okay, I just want to emphasize that when you are doing assessment, the first thing first you have to consider is the appropriateness of your technology. Okay, whether the technology can address the issue of the skills that you are teaching, for example, or you really want to evaluate. Okay, I want to show you about this one. Okay, if you use many separate technology, okay, the issue you have to address concern with the holistic and integrated assessment. Okay, if you use Edmodo, for example, and then you include Kahoot, for example, you use Quipper. Okay, you exercise many types or many different types of technologies for conducting the assessment. The thing that you have to convince yourself, can you draw conclusions from the assessment activities that you have done using those kind of technology? Okay, it's quite difficult to integrate, because if you use Edmodo, can you export the students' record and you combine with, for example, Kahoot? Can you export Kahoot result of your students' assessment, and you triangulate between Edmodo and also Kahoot, and you can you draw just a conclusion regarding to the whole holistic view of your students' performance. Again, what you have to think is you have first, you have to think about the technology, and you have to think about the minimum requirement for conducting the assessment using particular types of technology. All right. To evaluate, you can use. I provide the references that you can use later. Here, I provided some references how to perform effective online instructions and assessment. If you really want to evaluate, for example, particular technology from perspective of language acquisitions, you can use Chapel. Okay. Okay, you can use Chapel here. Okay. Okay, and you have you can use several references. Yeah, you can download this reference. I post this in the menu. Okay, I post this in the menu. Again, if you are asking about the strategies and the steps here, you can refer back to my my presentation, particularly when it concerns with assessment literacy and also digital literacy. You have considered these two types of literacy, and you have to consider the essence of this literacy. Again, when you concern with the assessment literacy, you have to focus on these skills, okay, or this aspect, assessment knowledge and skills and ability to apply. If you focus on the digital assessment, you have to focus on how to operate the technology effectively. The indication of effective use is this one, to include your ability to search, evaluate, and use particular digital platform. I believe it's not answer all your inquiries. That's why I suggest you to perform more reading on the references I have given you on the slides. I hope we can discuss later on, Mas Edi. Yes, do you have any questions? Okay, yes, Mas Edi, do you have any other responses?
Pak Edi, is there any more question, Pak? Probably that's enough, Herri, from Pak Edi, because I couldn't see. Oh, Pak Edi, is that all, Pak Edi? Is there anything else you want to ask? Okay, very well. Pak Herri, it seems our time is over, and yeah, we need to move to concluding remark. So I will welcome our first speaker and second speaker to give a probably closing statement or emphasis on several points that is important to bear in our mind as participant. But especially for Pak Daniel, there is still one more question that probably haven't asked to you, but I will simplify the question. It is from Siti. Where is the question? Wait a minute, because it's on private chat, so it is not performed on the global. Yeah.
Take your
So
time.
Mbak Siti or Bu Siti here says that according to her experience, a lot of students, until 80% of students, 80% of students, and also, yeah, 80% of students prefer to learn at school rather than at home, because there is no any bonding or organic interaction when they learn at home. So what do you think about that, Pak Daniel? And then probably after answering that question, you could also continue with the concluding remark. Okay, Pak.
Okay, I just want to combine maybe some ideas presented by Pak Herri previously, yeah, because this is related to ideas, how to use technology wisely, and also how to conduct assessment in a appropriate manner. Yeah. So yeah, our main problem when I'm also teaching my students is also on their engagement. Yeah, when we give them too many assignments, too many quizzes, yeah, I believe that what will happen is they will demotivated. They will be demotivated with the learning process. So my highlight in this talk is actually it's not the technology that we use that matters, but on how we use it to attain the right simplified learning goal. So that would be waste of time and useless, yeah, if we try to give them too many assignments, too many quizzes, as if we want to measure the whole things. But at the end, what we find is the students are stressful. Yeah. So less is more. So once again, less is more. So I hope that our participants in this seminar is smart enough to you know to understand that what we all see is shiny and also sophisticated technology. But when you are becoming teachers later in the future, you should think about the students' mental health, okay, their context, and also their yeah, their happiness as a student. Okay, so pick out one very important indicator, objective of the learning that you will assess, okay, and pick out one technology that fits with that. So I hope this can summarize and sum up the points that I deliver in this seminar. And my point is actually not so much on the assessment, because I know that Pak Herri is going to talk about that a lot more, and I also do learn a lot from him. But you can just categorize and choose, okay, or even combine, as if we are using HyFlex to combine, okay, because one assessment strategy might not be sufficient, but you have to choose the other one. This is not a simple situation, I know, not an easy situation. Teachers should be smart and students should work hard. Everybody is on the same board. I think that's my point, Mas Nizar.
Thank you very much, Pak Daniel, for concluding remark and also highlights on several points. I really appreciate your coming and your attendance, Pak Daniel, and thank you very much for thoughts and insightful talk. And
Thank you.
for the next concluding remark, probably will be delivered by Pak Herri Mulyono. Time is yours, Pak.
Right. I just to conclude from my presentations that literacy is the key factor that help you achieve the success of online teaching and learning. In this case, I emphasize the importance of assessment literacy and also digital literacy. Again, I have to emphasize that you do not need master or exercise many kinds of technology or many advanced technology for your teaching and learning activities. What you have to do is to operate effectively the technology that fit your needs and your students' purpose of assessment. Again, you have to consider several technology for assessment in the view of holistic approach or integrated approach of doing assessment. I think that's all, Mas.
Thank you, Pak Herri, for concluding remark and highlights on several points. If I may conclude and take some notes from this from our speakers, I in my opinion, probably we should also remember again that technology is the medium. So how the medium could work and fit our goals is that all depends on the teacher and also how we operate them. And thank you very much for coming and for your valuable time, Pak Herri and Pak Daniel. I hope we could face this pandemic together and then we come out as the victory, as the winner. And then we could also have more, let's say, sophisticated learning in the near future, because I believe pandemic teaches us something that we could we should adapt to the situation, and online learning is one of the choices. I think that is all for me and also from our speakers. Please everyone give applause for our speakers. It is very honored for me to be part of this national seminar, and thank you very much for me, and that's all for me. I will give it back to the host or the MC. Yeah. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Oh, and don't forget, everyone, I was just informed by the committee we're going to have a picture or screenshot. Is there anyone here from the committee who will lead how it's going to be? I mean, is there anyone here from the committee, please?
Here, Mr.
Is there?
Yes, sir. I'm
Oh
here.
yeah. I'll give it back to who's going to handle
Me.
the photo session. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, today's webinar is over. Thank you for the outstanding explanation from the two speakers, and of course, the great guidance from the moderator. As mentioned before, the audiences are not allowed to leave the WhatsApp group before downloading the e-certificate, and please kindly fill out the feedback form which will send tomorrow. And there is no attendance list for today's webinar. I'll repeat. There is no attendance list for today's webinar, but you have to fill out the feedback form tomorrow. Yeah, don't forget to attend the next series that will be held tomorrow, as I said before, which also will present the outstanding speaker and moderator. And before we close this webinar, we actually held a giveaway. So for those who mentioned by me, you may contact the committee, which the contact could be found on the flyer. So the names are Amam, Faisal, Arif Arga, Finka, Wangun, Nindita, and Nurdiana. Once again, Amam, Faisal, Arif Arga, Finka, Wangun, Nindita, and Nurdiana. You may contact the committee. And last but not least, we may take a picture. So you may open your camera, please. Okay. I'll count on the 3, 2, 1. Okay. Because the participants is a lot, so we may take another slide. So prepare yourself. Okay, wait. On 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay. For the next slide. On 3, 2, 1. 2 more slides. Okay. On 3. You may open your camera. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we go for the last slide. Again. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you very much. See you at the next webinar tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.